Hello, greetings from Hyderabad. Today's event focuses on Sitecore Media AI recommendation, presented by Hishaam and Vishal, hosted by Yamini and Vishal. Yeah. Over to you, Vishal and Hishaam.
Yep. So, hello everyone. Good morning or good afternoon. So, I don't know everyone's time zone currently, but yeah. So today's presentation will be mainly based on the learnings acquired on the AI and using OpenAI with Pinecone, etc. So it's all the learning that we've put on this POC. So it's mainly about recommending images from the content library, so the media library. So today's presentation will be presented by myself, Hishaam Namia. So I'm currently working at Versus Mind as a solution architect and currently a ninth time Psycho Technology MVP.
Okay, so let me introduce myself. Hi everyone, I am Vishal Kheda. I am two-time Sitecore Technology MVP and working as a Sitecore lead. I am certified across various products of Sitecore like XM Cloud, CDP, and Personalize. And I am actively contributing to the community through my blogs, practice exams, and mentorship. So, okay, so let's begin by looking at how AI is shaping the modern world. So today, artificial intelligence is no longer a futuristic concept. It is something we interact with every single day now. On this slide, you will see how AI is driving three major changes across industries. So first, AI is powering advanced automation. Tasks that once required hours of manual efforts can now be completed faster, more accurately, and at massive scale. And secondly, AI enhances decision making as well. With the ability to analyze huge amount of data, AI helps businesses and individuals make smarter and more informed choices. So it is helping us a lot in today's world in terms of technology as well. Like if we talk about third one as well, personalized digital experience. So AI enables personalized digital experience from product recommendation to the content and customer journeys. So if you guys get any chance to explore the personalization with AI, now AI is helping us to decide what we want to serve to our customer. So on runtime, based on the customer behavior, we can personalize the content, the product, or the thing which we want to sell or which we want to show to the customer. So now this thing is AI is helping us to personalize and to handle this journey for our customers. And together these transformations show why AI is at the center of innovation today and why it is such an exciting space for all of us. So coming to the next slide. Today, we will be talking about selecting the right visuals for content can be time consuming. So let's say, when content authors are working, they are putting a content, but to select the media, which one can fit best for that content is sometimes time consuming. We need to think more. But this is where a custom site for the AI media recommendation module comes into play. So we'll talk about this module today. This will solve the challenge by automatically suggesting the most relevant images from your media library as authors create or edit content. So if we have a particular set of images and authors are putting the content, it will help us to select the relevant image as per the content. So we can select that media for that particular page. So using AI-generated description tags, embeddings, we can use alt tags as well. Alt tags will be used for the accessibility and a lot of things. So those can also be generated with the help of AI. So coming to the next. So Hishaam, over to you now. You can
Yeah,
continue.
thanks for this intro, Vishal. So basically, so the module we've been implemented, so it's mainly about 4 stages. So the stages are mainly the classification. Secondly is the embeddings, then the indexing and vectorization, and finally is the recommendation part. So classification is mainly about like classifying the image itself. So let's say from this example, we have an image. So we have classified that image using two properties, which mainly is one, the caption, so which explain the image itself. And secondly, tags, like having some tags on each images so that it can easily be used for searching. Classification can be done both manually and automatically. So manually, the cons with it is it will be time consuming and error prone. However, automatically, it's more, in terms of correctness, it's much higher. However, there's a cost associated to classification using current OpenAI models or even other models that are available currently. Once we have classified the different images, we need to embed it into a database, which is mainly to store the data. So traditionally for for AI, it's in itself. So traditional database and NoSQL database are not really being used because of the way it is structured. So they are like it's not a three-dimensional databases like a vectorized one, which, for example, the one we have used in this demo is Pinecone. So the next stages was to embed the caption and the tags and then store it on another database. So the database that we have been using is Pinecone, which is one of the first databases which allows for vectors. So the purpose is once we have embedded the different tags and caption, those data are sent to Pinecone and stored over there so that we can do direct queries which enable fast and accurate similarity search. So there's different options when you're creating the index on Pinecone. So this one you can go through the documentation of Pinecone, but in our case we basically use the basic configuration they already provided. So here you can see an example of the screenshot of Pinecone, like already having different entries in the index. And finally, the part where we do the recommendation is we send the query to Pinecone, and then Pinecone will return us a response with all the different IDs based on the scoring score. So what we do is when we are sending the query to Pinecone, we need this query also to be embedded and also so that it can easily identify and search for similarity response. Okay. So the tech stack is basically Sitecore.NET Framework, since we are using the module on Sitecore, and then Pinecone as the vectorization database, and OpenAI as the API we are using for the AI part. So we'll just go do a small demo of what have been implemented. So the demo is there's currently two scenarios. The first scenario would be images which are already available on the back office, and then we'll just send a query to Pinecone to return us the correct, I mean, not the correct, because since it is a POC, so there's still lots of improvement on it, but it will still return an adequate image for based on the content that we are sending. So let me go through the demo. So as you can see, so on the Sitecore media library, we already have different set of images. So currently we have 4 images. So which one is basically a landscape of with a blue sky. The other one is mainly a forest with a mountain in the background. Then another image, which is mainly an icon for to-do list. And then lastly, it's mainly a butterfly image. Okay. So what we'll do is I've already created an API which will, based on the content that we are applying, so it will return us the ID of the response. So, for example, if I send a query for a forest, so it will be mainly return as something which is related to forest or animals. So when sending it to Pinecone, so those data is being embedded and then sent to Pinecone. And that's currently the result that we have based on the query text. So the first ID would be something which is related to a forest and the lake and the mountain. And if we check on the second one, so it's again based on flowers. And the third one would be the one which is mainly the butterfly image, since it is related to animals, insects in forests, etc. And lastly, the last one is mainly the to-do list, images, because currently on the database we only have 4 images available. So this is currently the Pinecone dashboard. And on the index we have here, so you can see that there's currently 4 total results. So it will return items based on the score. So even if the image for the to-do list is not relevant to it, so since it already have a score and the requirement on the query is there's no limit in terms of the range, so it will return all the content. So this is how we can also limit the number of results, like let's say the top 3 items is being returned. So this is pretty much the first part of the demo. So the second part is mainly how when we upload an image. So what's the full process that happens during the classification, embedding, and then the recommendation. So if let's say I upload an image for a mountain with snow, just upload it here. You will see that I have created a template, which is contains only the caption, the tags, and the checkbox, which is processed, so that we don't process each image every time. So let's do another upload of a second picture. Let's say this one also, and then upload. So here, the first part is to classify the images. So what I've implemented is just a method that will go through the directory of the image, which is here, find all the items that are not currently processed, and then process them, store the data on the image. So as you can see here, there's currently nothing on those 2. So once we run the application, the code for classifying the image, so it will go through the content tree and then classify those images. So it's already run. And then once you see here, so this image showcases a majestic snow cape mountain, the different tags, and the item is processed. And this one also is another example of the classification. Now the next part is to embed those items, and then it will be sent to Pinecone. So in the same method that I have created, so it will already create the embeddings of each images and then send it to Pinecone. So if you can see here, currently we only have 4 results. So at the end of the generation of the embeddings, we should be having a total of 6 images in the index. So if I just refresh this one here, so yes, so here we can see that the result is now incremented by 2. And now let's say we want to do another a sort of query about the snow mountains, for example. Just replace this text. And send it. So at least from, like you can see here now, we have like 6 results being returned, and most probably the most adequate, I mean, the most similar image to this content would be like the 2 images that we have uploaded. So the first 2 results should be a result which is mainly for the snow mountain. So here we can see there's one as a snow mountain, and the second one would be the image, the other image that we have uploaded, as you can see here. And the third one now should be mainly be the one with the forest and the mountain at the back. So this is how it's currently working. And note that this is currently a POC. So as all the tests that we have been doing, so it seems to be accurate, but this is mainly about content, which is mainly a bit targeted to this kind of images. So even though if we try to do the to-do list, for example, so in this content, I mean, in this paragraph, I would say, there's no meaning, I mean, there's no text which means about which does to-do list or stuff like this, just talk about task planner, those kind of stuff. And when you send it, so the first image that I would normally expected would be the image, which is the to-do list, which is this one. So currently, I will not say that this is mainly a POC, which seems to be working fine, but with large amount of data, it will most probably like to be more accurate, we need to fine tune the different models. So the idea was to take at least some of the image, and then it only recommends images which is only from the Sitecore media library. So this is pretty much about the demo. So from my side, if you have any question, anything, we can just do a Q&A session. And it might be a small presentation, but this is mainly how we took all the learnings we had on Psycho and also on based on AI to do something which might be relevant to some content authors. So thank you very much for your time, and yeah, Vishal, if
Okay,
you
it was a
have
great
anything.
presentation. And there are a few questions, Vishal and Hisham. If you want to read out on the chat, or can I read it for you? That is also fine.
Yeah, you can read it from the chat. Yeah.
Okay. So there is one question which is like, do we have any other alternative of Pinecone?
Yeah, there's currently other alternatives. If you can look for the main one I've used mainly is Pinecone, since it was much more user friendly, and also there's different like different tires, like free tires. So since this was basically a POC, so I went with Pinecone. But there are other libraries. I mean, there are other vectorization database that you can look. So
Okay.
it is something that can be implemented, but it's very difficult to manage. So because currently we don't really have expertise, I mean expertise in vectorization databases. So most databases that we are used to is mainly relational and NoSQL databases. And vectorization, I would say now is being put at another levels with the introduction of AI.
Exactly, because we need to explore more things as well. Because as
Mhm,
AI is also coming into all features, and this is a related presentation, because we are exploring other options other than what the relational databases or maybe Cosmos also. If you can later like so that is good thing. We are exploring other options as well.
mhm.
So one more question is Pinecone free to use, or we need
It-
to subscribe? It comes with a subscription or something like that.
No, so it's currently free to use. So you can create one indexing, like with your. Let me just try to see if I can get the. So on the different, there's different pricing methods. So the one that I'm using is currently the starter one. So you have like free starter packs. So you have different availability with it. Like, so in terms of usage, so you can only connect to only one region which is available, and then up to 5 indexers, namespace, etc. So you can go through the Pinecone website, and then under pricing, you will have all the different tires that is available.
Okay, great. And one more query from John we have here is like, can we install this module in Sitecore as we install other PowerShell modules? And will it create an image as well on the fly, if not relevant image found in the media library? There are two
So
questions, I guess.
yeah, so the first question is in terms of if we can install it on Psycho modules. So I would say yes, but not currently. So currently I did some implementation with PowerShell and also with APIs. So the main idea would be to use an API for the generation of the embeddings, generation of the classification, etc. However, there's a sort of latency that I've seen where calling an API with another API seems to be a bit tricky with the large amount of data being prepared. So that's why I've created mainly a PowerShell script, just to not a PowerShell script, but it's mainly a .NET static class that is being called via PowerShell. We just do the classification. So it can be something that can be added as a task on Psycho, or even on a save event handler that will just do the save and then send the data to the AI, and then returns the different classification and embeddings. However, I would not suggest to do this because each save event will trigger an API call, so it might be costly. So you might want to do some sort of uh, bulk sending to the AI that that you are using. And the second question was about
It was about like, will it create image as well on the fly? I think no, right? Because
no,
it says that
not
no, right?
yeah. So this is
Oh,
one feature that can be added. So with AI, you can generate image based on the content. It's not something which is not feasible. It's totally feasible. However, the main drawbacks with it is mainly when clients create content, most of their images are already needs to go through legal process, because
mm,
with AI we cannot really like, currently it's not very responsible to use generated images from AI and then use it. So it needs to go through legal process and then be vet by the board, etc., to make sure that this asset is meant to be is should be I mean, not should be able, but is allowed to be rendered on the website.
yeah,
Generated
agreed. Yeah.
images not really something that clients will do. They will want to create their own assets and then go through the legal process. But still, to answer the question, yes, you can update the code to create images based on the content that the user is written, and then use Psycho default namespaces APIs to take that binary images and then create it in Psycho.
Okay, I think that is a very good answer because I think exploring things would be great. And also, we can, as of now, we can go ahead with what is there because generative AI is not much evolved for images. And as you
Mhm.
said, license also comes into picture. So I think that answers John's query. And we have one more query from Sujani. She's asking that can we use this module with XM Cloud as well?
Not yet. So since it is a POC, so I've only like created it on a Psycho XP XM topology. So, but yeah, as from maybe next year, I will try to uh, have some upgrade on the module and then have it to be hosted on both XM Cloud and XP and XM.
Okay. Those are the questions from the team, and I think this is a really good presentation. We all got to know something new today, and with Pinecone and other databases and OpenAI. So I think thank you, Vishal and Hisham. That was really good presentation. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Any other
thank
queries
you.
we can
Thank you for
add?
your time. If there's any other questions, even after the meeting, you can contact us on LinkedIn or even on Slack also. So you can send your question if even you do have question afterwards. So you can just send it to us on via LinkedIn or Slack.
Thank you. That will be really
Yep.
helpful.
Thank you everyone for joining. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Have a nice day. Bye bye.